Today we're going to talk about AppsUp and a quick introduction into what you need to, how to make your app submission successful and what else you need to do in order to submit your app. So my name is Leisha. I'm on the marketing team here for Huawei Mobile Services, and Fiona is also on the marketing team. We also have Adrian joining us. He is one of our software engineer developers, and he is going to be on hand to answer all your technical questions that you may have. So moving on then. So today we are going to be covering an introduction to AppsUp, so just everything about apps that you need to know that you might already know. We're also going to have a discussion on the technical support and guidance, so any tech questions that you have, Adrian will be at hand to answer them. We're also going to show you some top tips on how to make your app submission just a little bit better. And then to finish off, we're going to have a question and answer segment at the end where you can ask any questions that you have and we will be happy to answer them. So firstly, Fiona, can you tell us a little bit about AppsUp and what exactly it is?
Yeah, absolutely. So AppsUp is a global app contest. It's held in 5 different regions in the world, but we're going to focus on Europe today in this talk. So AppsUp is inviting mobile app developers not just to create, to submit their exciting or innovative apps, not just for mobile, but also across different devices. So wearables such as your smartwatch or tablets, to really create really cool, seamless experiences across different devices. AppsUp has a total of $1 million US dollar prize pool, and that's split up into the different regions. So that's in a nutshell what AppsUp is.
Great, thank you for that, Fiona. So AppsUp is a global contest for mobile app developers all across the world. So, what kind of developers are this actually open to? Is it just website developers, app developers, which kind of developers?
Yeah, so AppsUp is for app developers. Basically, you need to be over the age of 18 to join, and I would say that's kind of the only limitation. We started AppsUp 2 years ago, and since then we've had over 10,000 apps submitted from nearly over 10,000 app developers and nearly 10,000 apps. So it's been pretty impressive. It's been a really cool journey so far. And in terms of what type of app, so it's really any type of app that is out there, from educational to gaming to entertainment or social, pretty open to any type of app that you think is exciting or innovative.
Well, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty cool. So would we have heard of any of the winners from last year? You said that AppsUp has been running for a few years. Would I have seen any of these apps?
Yeah, so we've got, so I've put together like 3 of the winning apps from the previous 2 years. The first one is Smart Tales, so that's developed by Marshmallow Games. So they were a pretty standout submission. They won 3 different awards last year, and that was Best Game, Best Social Impact, and Tech Women's Award. So it's an educational app that teaches STEM to 3 to 6-year-old kids. So that's kind of more of an educational app. Then we have PlantSnap, which won Best Social Impact Award app. And that's the app where you take a photo of whatever bush or flower or tree, and it will tell you what flower or what tree or what bush that is.
Cool.
And they integrated machine learning kits, in-app purchase kits, account kit, push kit. So they integrated a whole bunch of different kits. And yeah, they did really well last year. And then the last one is Chefs. So they won 2 different awards, Best App and Excellent Student Award. And that's where people get to share recipes, and you take a photo of what's in your fridge and it'll give you a recipe. So those are the kind of different apps that were submitted in previous years, and they did pretty well. So it gives you an idea of the range that we're looking at.
Yeah, definitely. But Fiona, just a quick thing. I don't think we are seeing the right screen, the right share. So at least on my end, I'm seeing a web browser.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I remember those success cases. They had very nice images and screenshots, so it will be nice for everyone to see them.
Oh, okay, let me share my screen and hopefully we can get this. How about now?
Let's see, it's still loading. It's a black screen for now. Okay, so Yani, she's able to see it. For me, it's still a black screen, but let's see.
Yeah, I guess we can see the correct PPT.
Okay, that's great. Everyone seems to be seeing it, so we can continue.
Okay.
Okay.
I think you've seen it before, Adrian. Okay.
Okay, well, that sounds pretty cool. So do you want to move on, and we're going to talk about what I'm sure a lot of people are interested in, is this $200,000 European prize pool. Now, I would like to hear more about that personally. So can you tell us a little bit on like what's up for grabs? How can you win from this prize pool? Is there different prizes, or what is the kind of incentive here?
Yeah, sure. So we do have a really impressive prize pool for Europe. It's $200,000. And what we've done is we split that up into different award categories. And you can see that we've got the different award categories up here. So we split them into 8. So we have best app. We have 3 best app prizes up for grabs. Best app is really an award that recognizes the most functional apps developed overall. So based on the practicality and the innovation in the app and how easy it is to use. Then we have the Tech Women's Award. So when you have your team that develops the app, to have a female member making a pivotal contribution to your app development. Then we have Best Game. Obviously, it recognizes gaming apps that have been developed with innovative gameplay and like really giving an ultimate, a great gaming experiences. And then we have Best Social Impact App. We have 3 prizes for that as well, and the prize for that is $15,000. That's really recognizing apps that give back to society, or they are developed to help causes that bring about positive change to society. So environmental or health or education or public welfare or charity. Then we have the Student Innovation Awards. So we have 3 of those prizes. They're $5,000 each. And they're really recognizing outstanding students and contributions that they make to app development. So we have 3 prizes there. We also have the Best HMS Innovation Award. So that's using the HMS core kits in really cool and unique ways. The price for that is $10,000, and we have 3 of them. We also have the All Scenario Coverage Award. So that's that award is for apps that are not just focusing on mobile apps, but also focusing on an experience across mobile, wearable, tablets, all of the different devices that are available there. So that's also quite a big one. That's $15,000. We have 1 prize for that. And then we have the honorable mention. So the prizes, the honorable mention prizes go to people who haven't just made the cuts for winning, but that they have considerable skill and they are recognized for making a pretty great app anyway. So we have 5 of those prizes. So those are the prizes. You can check out the amounts and how many there are for each category online as well. But on top of that, we also have for winning apps support from our developer relations team, like Adrian across Europe. So we have different teams helping developers get the app, integrating some of our kits and up on App Gallery. We also provide exclusive promotional spots on App Gallery, and then we have a few other things like helping push your app and promote. Obviously, when you win, we do have promotion to our 580 million monthly active users on App Gallery as well. So there are a lot of incentives for AppsUp and entering your app on AppsUp.
That sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good. I might develop my own app yet. So we are now coming up to the end of September, which is hard to believe. So what is the next steps? Like, what's the timeline for the rest of AppsUp? Are we coming towards submission deadlines, or what would one need to do going forward?
Sure. So, we have 2 weeks left for submission deadline. So for the next 2 weeks, you have to register, integrate an HMS kit, and submit your app before or up until October 9th. Then from there, we have a preliminary expert review. So that's where we talk to our judges and we skim down to the top 30 apps. And then from November 8th to November 20th, that's when we put it out for a public vote. So this is where friends, family, support, your networks, you can get them to upvote your app. And then in December, we finally announce the winners. So those are the next steps.
Okay, so submission is coming up then very soon,
Yeah.
Just as a little highlight for anybody who still maybe has yet to submit their apps. Once they have submitted their app, then what happens then? So do you have to boost your submission? I see you have wrote here. So what's the kind of thing on that?
So this is kind of before you submit your app and after you submit your app. So let's just say that you haven't submitted your app first. So here are some tips that would help you make your submission stand up. So number one, try and integrate more than one kit. So we do have a range of different kits that every time you submit one, you get like either 4 points or 8 points. Actually, I'm just gonna show you the website so you can see where to find that. So on our global apps up page, you'll come to the rules tab. And if you come down, you can see some of a list of the different kits that you can integrate, and they will give you 8 points each up until 40 points. And then, so if you integrate more than one, and you get more points. My second tip is that when you are integrating your kits and you're going through App Gallery Connect, you should use some of the HMS services, and for each service that you use, and they're listed here as well, like cloud testing, cloud debugging, that will also get you extra 8 points. Every time that you integrate, every time that you are testing, use our HMS services, and this will get you more points. Another big one is launching on App Gallery. Just launching on App Gallery will get you 10 points straight away. So that's a kind of no-brainer, a really easy win there. My other tip, which is slightly less technical, is when you are submitting your app, you will be asked to give a description of your app. So this is where you can really sell your app and not just talk about how innovative it is or unique or where the idea comes from, but based on the award categories that you've seen, if you feel that your app aligns more with a social impact award app or best gaming or HMS innovation award, really try and align that with the description, because then that would make it stand out for that specific award. And remember, you can submit one app, you can submit more than one app, but each app can win more than one prize. So if you see that it can win a number of different prizes, don't hold back, really go for it in your description. And we also have some, let me go back to this page. You can see the judging, like how the judges will view the submission, so user experience, originality, social value. So you can have a look a little bit more there. And then coming back to boosting your app. So tips 1, 2, 3, and 4 is everything you can do before you submit. And then tip 5 is really if you make it for the last 30 and you are trying to boost your submission, this is where you can get your friends, your family, your network to upvote. What will happen at this point is you are chosen as top 30, you will have your app on the Huawei landing page, on the AppsUp landing page, and you can send your friends and family and anybody there to upvote your app, and this will increase your chances to win. So I think that those are my key top tips.
Yeah. Yeah, they seem like no-brainers. I mean, especially the launch on App Gallery. You know, you have all the hard work done. All you have to do is launch it then.
Exactly.
Thank you, Fiona. They're really good tips and definitely ones to take heed of if you are interested in submitting your app. So now we're going to move to a Q&A style segment of the webinar. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to enter them in the chat and we can get to them afterwards. We have had a lot of questions already given into us, so we went through them beforehand to see which ones were the most frequently asked ones. So we're going to ask Adrian some of these questions now, but if your question isn't in this list, then do feel free to put it into the chat and we will get to it then afterwards. So Adrian, thank you so much for taking the time out today to join us and help us with the technical side of these things. So my first question for you is, I already have my app on the Google Play Store and I would like to bring it to App Gallery. Is it straightforward?
Yeah, we get this question a lot. I would say it is. Maybe it's worth recapping that essentially the new Huawei smartphones, that we call them HMS, where App Gallery runs, right? They are basically Android compatible devices. But the only difference to the other Android devices out there is that they lack the Google Play services. So we could have the next three scenarios, right? Let's say your app doesn't use any of the Google Play services. Let's call them GMS for short, right? Then it's very easy. You just publish your app on App Gallery and it will be deployed on the Huawei devices. The second scenario is when you do use SDKs from Google Play services or Firebase, but they don't need a device that has the GMS core on it, right? So basically, in the links at the end, you're going to see for Firebase, for instance, you could see that plenty of their services, they don't need a device with GMS, let's say remote controlling or Crashlytics. They are very popular. Everybody uses them. So these don't need GMS, so they will run on an HMS phone as well. But then there are other services let's say Firebase Cloud Messaging, which needs GMS. So this one is not usable on an HMS device. And here we move to the third and last scenario, where you basically need to port your app to use the HMS equivalent SDKs instead of the GMS ones. And I would say that's pretty straightforward to do.
Okay, thanks so much for that, Adrian. You mentioned there Firebase. I actually have that as my next question. So a lot of people are asking, I'm using a couple of services from Firebase. Can I still onboard App Gallery?
Right. So exactly. It was my second scenario. It's better that everyone checks the links at the end where the official documentation from Google lists the services from Firebase that still need GMS and those that don't need. So it might be that your app will run on an HMS device as it is with no additional effort.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. So next up, we've been asked, when integrating HMS SDKs in an app that's already using GMS, should I create a new variant or flavor?
Yeah, that's tricky. It always depends on your code base. I would say as a general rule, there is no problem in HMS SDKs and GMS SDKs coexisting in the same binary. They can work together. So this opens the door for an approach in which at runtime you can decide, okay, I'm going to use the GMS equivalent or the HMS equivalent. And to help you in this regard, there are also some wrappers available, for instance, for fused location or maps. Basically, what these wrappers do is at runtime, they see what capabilities are on the underlying platform, and then they select the proper SDK. Otherwise, of course, you can go the route of different build variants or flavors to have a completely separated code base and ship different binaries to Google Play and to App Gallery. That can be done as well. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. Moving on then, we have another question. My app is written in a cross-platform framework, i.e. React Native, Cordova, Flutter. How can I integrate HMS SDK?
Right. So most of the HMS SDKs, they do have plugins for cross-platform frameworks. So we support React Native, Cordova and Ionic. We support Flutter, Xamarin, and if you're developing a game, you might be happy to find out that Unity. We also have plugins for HMS for Unity.
Okay, that sounds great. Thanks so much. So next up we have, what can I expect from HMS offering in terms of SDKs, as in how many are there?
Yeah, so I think it's something more than 50 different SDKs split across 7 different domains. Most of them are under app services, so things like location, maps, push notifications, everything that you're already used to have. And then the other domains might have things like artificial intelligence, media, graphics. It's important to notice that this list of SDKs, it's still growing. So the most recent addition, I think, it's the audio and video editor kits. So you can empower your app with audio and video editing functionality, which I think it's pretty cool.
That does sound pretty cool. That's great. Thank you so much. And one that we've been asked quite a bit is, how are the HMS SDKs compared to its GMS counterparts?
Right. So I would say for the common services like location providing, push notifications, and so on, the API of the HMS SDKs, it's very, very similar to the GMS counterpart, because this makes for an easy transition, and we put our consumers up front, so we want them to have an easy life coming and joining us in the HMS world. It's also worth noticing that although many of the HMS SDKs, they do need this HMS core, which is present on Huawei devices, lots of them can do also without. So you could have an HMS SDK in your app running on a generic Android device. That version exists as well. So it's pretty flexible here, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Thanks so much. And we also have a chat in the group chat, I did see. Give me 1 second.
Should I read the question or?
It says, I think some people can hear you twice, Adrian. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I also have this problem here. I hear myself as well.
Yeah. Okay, how about this? Let me send this and then we leave. Maybe it's to do with me. We're just gonna try something. Can you still hear yourself double?
Let's see. I just muted someone, but now I think it's a bit better. No, I can still hear myself with a short delay. Maybe it's the speakers from your laptop. I don't think there's anything we can do about this. So maybe we can just.
Yeah,
well, what we'll do for anything that's not clear, we'll share all of the information and the links and all of the answers that Adrian has. We'll actually share them after the webinar, so everybody has them.
Sounds good.
You have some questions though. I'm going to go through them.
Yes. Back to.
Okay. Yeah. So Anwar asked.
There we go. Anwar asked, is every information available on the website? Yes, it is. It is available on the Huawei developer website, and we'll actually pop. Is that link included?
Yeah. So I've just popped.
Yeah.
Some of the links down there, Anwar, for you. So you have the registration page as the first link. The second link is some HMS related questions, and also a collection of official HMS demos on the GitHub. And then also you can join our developer Discord as well. There's a link right there. So that's all the information. You can get the foundation information there.
And if you ever have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us and we will be happy to inform you of anything else. And we're also asked to add to App Gallery, should the app contain HMS toolkits? Yes, it does.
Yeah. Maybe
Adrian might be able to, or Adrian might be able to take over.
Okay, yeah, I saw the question as well. I don't think it's a requisite. You could do also without, but if it's a tool that helps you, why not?
Sure. And just to come back to that, Anwar, so to go on App Gallery, like Adrian said, no, you don't need the toolkits, but to submit the app for AppsUp, you do need to integrate at least one toolkit.
Okay, great. I think that is, I had no other questions in the group chat, but again, if you do have any other ones, please feel free to reach out and ask us. So to finish up, we just sent you in some of the links there that Fiona had sent in. So it's just all the information that you need to find out anything else about AppsUp. And like we said, the submission deadline is the 9th of October. So it is fast approaching. So if there is any other information you need, feel free to hop on that and get to it before October 9th so you don't leave it too late. So thank you very much for joining. We really appreciated you taking the time out of the day to come and join us and find out a little bit more about AppsUp. We will be uploading this video onto our HSD YouTube channel later, so if you want to watch it again, it will be available. And again, we have all the links in the group chat there, so if there's any other information you need, you can find out there. Yeah. Thanks so much again to Adrian as well. Sorry for any of the technical difficulties. It's always a struggle, but we do appreciate you taking the time out of the day as well to answer some of our techie developer questions.
Brilliant. Thanks, Leisha.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.